Today, we're going to talk about something that feels like it's been pulled straight out of science fiction, but it's really, really not anymore. We're diving into artificial superintelligence. I mean, just think about that for a second. Seriously. Not an AI that's just smarter than you or me, but one that absolutely dwarfs the collective brain power of all 8 billion of us combined. This isn't just some fun thought experiment anymore. It's the future that some of the world's biggest AI labs are racing towards right now. And look, this isn't some far-off prediction for 100 years from now. That's a quote from OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman. He's saying we could hit this monumental turning point, well, within just a few years. So to really wrap our heads around what that means, we need to get our definitions straight. To figure out where we're going, you gotta have a map, right? Well, this journey has 2 huge milestones, and let me tell you, the difference between them is everything. Okay, so first up, you've got AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence. This is basically the current holy grail that companies like OpenAI and Google DeepMind are chasing. Think of it as creating a machine that has the same kind of flexible, do-anything intelligence that we humans have. You know, it's not like the AI we have today that can only master chess or recommend what movie to watch next. An AGI could, in theory, do almost any intellectual job a person can. But AGI is really just the stepping stone. It's the warm-up act. The next giant leap is to artificial superintelligence, ASI. And as the philosopher Nick Bostrom puts it, this thing is not our equal. It's an intellect that greatly exceeds us in, well, pretty much everything you can think of, from creativity and science to just, social skills. This comparison here just lays it out perfectly. AGI, that's a peer. It's an intelligence we could probably relate to. ASI, though, that is something else entirely. It's an alien intelligence. It could solve problems that we can't even begin to imagine. The gap we're talking about, it's not like the difference between an average person and Einstein. No. It's more like the gap between us and a chimpanzee. Or maybe even bigger than that. So, if we actually pull this off, if we create an ASI, what happens next? Well, on one hand, it holds the promise of, well, a true utopia. This idea isn't new. A mathematician, I.J. Good, said this way back in 1965. It captures the whole concept perfectly. Once you build a machine that's smarter than you are, it can take over the job of inventing things itself, and it can do it at a speed that is just impossible for us to even comprehend. So what would that world even look like? The upside is just staggering. Imagine an intelligence that could actually solve climate change, or one that could figure out how to cure diseases like Alzheimer's or cancer. It could totally redesign our world to end hunger, and maybe even help us unlock the secrets of the universe. I mean, we're talking about solving almost every single major problem that has plagued us for our entire history. But there's always a but, isn't there? For all that incredible utopian promise, there is a flip side. And that flip side is a risk so big, it threatens our very existence. Here's how it could all go down. It's called the intelligence explosion. It's that same idea I.J. Good was talking about. So we make an AI that's a bit smarter than us. It then uses its superior brain to design a new version of itself that's even smarter. And that new version does the same thing, but faster. It kicks off this feedback loop that just skyrockets. And this could happen fast, like really fast. We could be talking days or even hours before we are left completely in the dust. This incredible speed creates these massive, frankly terrifying challenges. The biggest one is the control problem. I mean, how do you keep a leash on something that is, by definition, smarter than you in every conceivable way? And right alongside that is goal misalignment. What if we tell an ASI to cure cancer? A super intelligent but very literal AI might decide the most efficient solution is to eliminate everyone who has cancer. We give it a simple goal, but we state it imperfectly, and it pursues that goal with catastrophic results we never intended. Nick Bostrom's analogy here is just so stark and so perfect. As humans, we don't hate gorillas, most of us don't, but their fate is completely in our hands. If we want to build a new highway, a new farm, our priorities determine whether they survive. In a world with an ASI, humanity could suddenly find itself in that same incredibly fragile position. So, this brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? As we're standing right on the edge of this cliff, we're not just inventing some new technology. We are potentially writing the next chapter for all life on Earth. There's really no middle ground here. The stakes are literally everything. This isn't just another tool like the internet or the printing press. This is a potential successor. And figuring out how to navigate its creation is arguably the most important challenge our species has ever and will ever face. And this is the thought I really want to leave you with. If we succeed, if we actually create an intelligence that outperforms us in every single domain, in art, in science, in leadership, maybe even in compassion, what does it mean to be human anymore? If an artificial mind becomes truly superior, what